Louise unexpectedly discovered that the company's new CEO looked exactly like her newly deceased husband, but she couldn't understand how her husband had clearly died right in front of her, why he would come back from the dead and suddenly become the richest man's son and the new CEO. 3 years of being together day and night made Louise certain that the CEO was her husband, but the CEO not only pretended not to know her, he even claimed she had mental issues and ordered security to remove her. Fortunately, her best friend arrived just in time and pulled her away from security. Louise excitedly explained to her friend that the CEO had to be her husband, but even her best friend disagreed, saying the CEO was so high above everyone, he must simply look similar to Louise's husband. Louise refused to give up after hearing that. She barged straight into the CEO's office and questioned why he wouldn't acknowledge her. But the CEO coldly tried to call security to kick Louise out. Thankfully, her best friend rushed in again and dragged Louise away. The two hurried into the hallway, and her friend finally snapped, warning Louise not to cause any more trouble. Louise observed the CEO closely for 3 days, eventually noticing that aside from his cold personality, everything else was exactly the same as her husband. The next day, Louise went to her husband's funeral, only to run into the CEO. The CEO noticed her as well, so he pulled Louise into a corner and warned her not to mistake him for her husband again. Then he left, without looking back. Little did he know, Louise still hadn't given up. The next day, she quietly slipped into the CEO's office, trying to get a strand of his hair for a DNA test. But her best friend called her into a corner, saying she had betrayed Louise long ago with her husband, and she had already run a DNA test the first time she saw the CEO. Her husband and the CEO were completely different people. Louise collapsed to the floor upon hearing that. Just then, the CEO suddenly appeared mocking that Louise's husband never loved her. Then he said that if Louise liked him so much, he could let her be his secret lover. Louise couldn't take it anymore and slapped the CEO, telling him not to use her husband's face to say such disgusting things. Then she demanded a strand of his hair for a DNA test. The CEO yanked out a hair without hesitation, warning her that before the results came out, she was not to bother him again. Louise went straight to the hospital, only to be stopped by a woman claiming to be the CEO's fiancé. She questioned whether Louise had harmed the CEO's child. Louise slapped the fiancé hard, saying her business had nothing to do with her. The fiancé tried to fight back, but was held back, so she decided to stay there, wanting to see whether the child in Louise's belly was really the CEO's. Soon, the test results came out, and Louise was shocked when she saw them. She rushed to find the CEO and showed him the watch her husband gave her, hoping he'd remember her by seeing it. But the CEO threw the watch into the pool without hesitation, saying that if Louise retrieved it, he might reluctantly admit he was her husband. Louise knew that if she jumped in, her true husband would never just stand by, so she jumped into the water without hesitation. But when she opened her eyes again, she realized the one who saved her wasn't the CEO, but his family doctor. The next day, Louise returned to the company to pack her things and resign. But just as she was about to leave, the CEO stopped her and told her to stay. But Louise no longer wanted any entanglement, so she went straight home. But the moment she arrived, she saw a mortgage warning notice. Her best friend suddenly appeared, inviting her to